Hey, gals and guys, it's Chris Mosier from MyMediaHelper.com, and in the background here is the data closet, and I'm babysitting it because the AC is broke, and I need to keep the doors open for it to cool off, and it's like at 91 degrees, and it needs to get down to the 80s, like the mid 80s. 85 is probably good. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to film while I'm babysitting that, film my 300th video that I'm going to be posting on the YouTube channel, my Media Helper YouTube channel. So I'm going to go wheel myself over to this office. This is the best I can. And for this timeout, I'm going to go through some YouTube channels that I personally watch on a regular basis. Most of them are going to be geeky channels. There's no politics, nothing in that particular realm. This is all like entertainment, movies, pop culture, stuff like that. I do watch a couple political ones, but I try not to watch them too much because I don't like my blood to boil. And so I'm going to go through 10 of my favorites in no particular order and just kind of shoot them out there and give you an idea what I watch on a regular basis. Give these people a props up. Not that they really need them. They have tons of subscribers and tons of watch hours, and I'm sure they make a very good living doing what they do because I mean, they're in the millions as far as subscribers and stuff like that. So again, in no particular order, let's go through them, shall we? And I'll play little clips along the way. I'll give you a little idea of where they're at. So I highly recommend all these channels. This is Red Letter Media. So mostly it's these gentlemen. It's Jay right here. That's Mike right there. And there's a guy named Rich, kind of a bigger guy that pops in once in a while. I don't see a picture of him, but they all talk about basically movies, television shows, and if you kind of let me get rid of this thing here, kind of go down the spectrum of their videos. They do a lot of bad schlocky movies, so they'll pick like 3 or 4 movies and watch them, and then they'll sit around a table and they'll discuss them, and it's kind of funny. It's pretty funny. So I highly recommend. That's my first choice.
Donald Trump. I mean,
Max Powers.
I better wear this golden suit of armor to protect my weak ass from the cat lady. Mm-hmm. And then there's that triumphant moment where she's like, fuck the suit of armor.
Yeah. It's structured like she's regaining her powers there.
Yes. So maybe it was a thing in post-production where because there's a moment where she's like, they show her and it looks like she's thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not renounce your wish during the fight?
Yeah.
Because that seemed like the point of the golden armor. Anyways, we've sidetracked, but we want to clarify some things.
It is, yeah. We can admit that we weren't paying full attention to the film, but that is our fault.
Yeah.
But when you have a solidly structured movie with a story that you're engaged in, you don't lose interest quite as easily.
Right.
We've got Emergency Awesome. Now he's not really any type of critic or anything. He doesn't criticize towards what he's reviewing. He just reviews it right out. He does a lot of comic book movies and TV shows, sci-fi. Lord of the Rings came to mind. I'm trying to think of the other one. Dragons. It will come to me. The HBO show. Why can't I think of it? The book series. All right. Anyways, I'm drawing a blank, but he'll do stuff like that, and he's very knowledgeable. He knows his shit. He knows way too much stuff about pop culture, and he'll put us all to shame. He knows his stuff, and he's very entertaining. His videos are like 10 minutes normally, and that's right. If you want a YouTube channel, 10 minutes is usually the norm or plus for your videos in order to get them monetized and get advertising revenue out of there and stuff. Highly recommend it if you're into movies, if you're into science fiction, comic book stuff like that, which I am. I'm very geeky. I can't help it. It's just who I am. This is the channel that you want to gravitate to. Great channel.
Just revealed that they're actually making a Thunderbolts movie in the next couple of years. So I'll explain what's happening, who's going to be on the team. They mentioned some people specifically during the article. We have a lot of theories that they've confirmed. And as some of you will know, there's a bunch of deleted scenes from the earlier Marvel Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3 movies referencing Red Hulk and a lot of Thunderbolts things that I'll work into the video too. So there are actually stories like this they tried to do previously and just left for future projects like what's happening right now. But if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. There's a bunch of really big stuff coming up. Marvel also just announced that they're doing a special Disney Plus Day in September where they're going to do another preview, releasing a ton of trailers for upcoming stuff. And right now, with the Thunderbolts movie just being added to the roster in Deadpool 3, we really only know what's happening up to 2024, which is only the next couple of years. So there's like a couple other years of stuff that they haven't revealed yet. But you probably just saw on your feeds just a little while ago, as of me posting this video, that Marvel just confirmed their Thunderbolts movie.
All right, so good, bad, or bad, bad. So that's Kyle right there, and that's Brian, as you can see by their icon or their banner. And again, they just review schlocky, not necessarily well-produced, well-put-together films. They do bash them, I guess, but in a comical way. I mean, they're really bad movies. But that's what makes B movies and bad movies fun. They're so bad that sometimes, like the name suggests, they're good bad or bad bad. So in some cases, they're so bad they're good. They're really entertainment worthy. They have a lot to them. There's a lot to point out, or they're just really bad movies, right? Just terrible stuff. So they review both. And again, I'll play a little clip of each one, as I said. So that's our third choice.
God,
That scene
explanation
is the most buzzwordy. Like, he watched an episode of Cosmos and was like, I know science now.
I can compress time, dark matter, dark energy, quantum physics, the string theory. I can bend time.
Dark matter, dark energy, quantum mechanics.
No, he says quantum physics.
Quantum physics.
Quantum.
Quantum physics.
Quantum physics.
I love Neil Breen so much. Quantum physics.
Quantum physics.
And then he saw Neil deGrasse Tyson or somebody one time explain trans-dimension, like bending space-time. So he's got a hose.
I got a hose.
Look, that's what
Well, he
happened.
does the whole explanation. I'm like, just bend the hose.
Just bend the hose. I know. We all know you're gonna bend the hose. Just bend the hose.
By bending time, I can compress the travel distance in time from here to here to no time at all.
So for number 4, oops, oh my God. So these are 2 Australian blokes. Again, they do basically the same stuff. They review movies, pop culture, comic book stuff. Not necessarily always in the realm of sci-fi, but that's mostly what they do, and they're very funny. they're very quick in their humor. I don't know if it's just the way they edit the video, which I'm sure it is. It comes that quick, or if it's just their natural comicality. But they're very funny individuals, and they're all Australian blokes, right? Say, put another shrimp on the barbie. That's my bad Australian accent, right? So I highly recommend this. Another movie site. They do both schlocky movies and then they do mainstream stuff. Very entertaining.
Hello, everybody. We thought we'd take this opportunity. And what an opportunity, Mason.
What an opportunity.
To talk about
The opportunity for 2 men to speak on the internet. we saw the opening. We thought we'd jump on it with both hands.
Exactly. So yeah, basically today we're here to talk about the first 3 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi. We don't really feel like doing like recaps every week for things. We were thinking maybe we'll do one at the end. But hey, the halfway point seems like a good enough time to go, hey, where are we at with this
That's
series?
right, because obviously Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader, they're gone to their separate corners. They're got some orange slices.
That's right.
They're recovering. Their coach is
They probably
berating them for their various...
5, Cinemassacre. So I don't know if you know who the angry video game nerd is. That's basically his origins. He's not so much angry anymore. He was more angry when he was younger. Maybe he's just getting older. I think he's got a family. I think he's got kids. I think he's toned it down a little bit. Very entertaining channel. Basically, he takes old like NES games mostly. Really anything like ColecoVision. What's the old systems? Atari. Stuff like that. Nintendo 64. He does some PlayStation. So he's got seasons on here, which are really long. As you can see, it's like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. And he's hilarious. And he comes up with some zingers. Not for the profanity timid. Definitely not. There's a lot of F-bombs going around there. But he does set up some scenes, some what do I want? It's like skits that go along with the video. And most recently, he's done a lot of movie reviews. He was doing movie reviews with a bunch of people. I don't know what happened to those because this kind of went away. Those are pretty good, and they would do the same thing, right? Schlocky mainstream movies. But he's mostly known for The Angry Video Game Nerd, and there's even a movie called The Angry Video Game Nerd that I recommend. It is a B movie. It's can be stupid, but it's entertaining. I like it. It's funny. I've seen it a couple times, so I would recommend this channel. So that is Cinemassacre.
Run and jump, or should I jump from a standstill? And how do I keep falling through the platforms? Okay, they added audience in the background. Well, that makes it worth it. Oh shit, his PPG average went up. Somebody's weight changes, buy it again. Somebody changes team, buy it again. Okay, here's one called Sex Games. You have to shake the joystick like this, up and down really fast. That's what you do. Just make sure to grab the right one. Somebody, somewhere in the world, thought, hey, you know what the Rocketeer game needs? Bats. I'm starting to think Top Gun actually had bats and I missed it. Oh, I mean, come on, that looks like it hurts. Oh, right there. Oh, that is Jason. How is that supposed to be Jason? He looks just like a normal guy. Oh, but he's wearing black clothing, so that makes him Jason. How does Jason disguise himself?
So this is First We Feast, and I don't necessarily recommend everything on here. The only thing I recommend on here is Hot Ones. And so basically, here's the most recent one that I watched with Queen Latifah. So basically, he interviews guests whether eating chicken wings, hot chicken wings, and they start very mild, and then as he builds up with his questions, so does the intensity of the hotness of the chicken wing. So once the star or the wrestler or the music guest gets to a certain point, he's asking these questions, they can barely answer because like their mouth is burning. But they all love it. At the end, they say they had such a great time. They love the questions, and it's just fun stuff. So I don't necessarily recommend every video on here. I just recommend the hot ones. I have tried to watch the other, like what's this? This looks like Pizza Wars. I've tried to watch the other ones. They're just not the same. I like Sean Evans. He asks really good questions, and he doesn't overpower the guests. He's a really good interviewer, and I highly recommend this. Here's the girl from Stranger Things. I watched that one last week as well.
Uh-oh, here we go.
So what are you doing?
What are you doing with that one? Why are you shaking it? We have to add to it?
Uh-oh, what's happening? You're shaking something. That can't be good.
Oh, is this the last dab?
This is the last dab. We call it the last dab because it's tradition around here to put a little extra on the last wing. You don't have to if you don't want to.
Well, I'm not going to let you do it and be called soft, so.
Gone this far, right? Whoa! That's not a dab. Is that enough?
That's enough. That's plenty. It's got some liquid action.
That's too much already.
Rub it in.
We'll put a couple dabs.
Whoa. Shall we cheers?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, last one.
To Her Majesty, the Queen of England.
To the Queen.
All right, so wavy web surf. So basically what this dude does is he goes towards old YouTube videos, old memes, and he goes back and explores them. Kind of like, what are they doing now kind of deal. I just noticed I had my mask on. You walk around the facility, you're supposed to have that on because it's a veterans facility. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So he'll go to like 10, 15-year-old memes, YouTube videos, and he'll do research on them. In some cases, he'll even contact the people who made the videos if he can get a hold of them. And he gives the whole story behind it and kind of where are they now, or he kind of speculates sometimes as to where they could be now. And a lot of them get themselves in trouble. A lot of them are funny. So I would highly recommend Wavy Web Surfer. I'm not sure what his real name is. I did do a little research, and I don't think he wants it to be known. But and he's out of, I forget what state he's out of. State of Confusion, maybe. But it's a great channel.
In the early 2010s, it seemed like a month couldn't pass without 4chan sabotaging an online poll. Take, for example, the time when Mountain Dew asked the internet to invent and vote on a name for an upcoming drink flavor, and you had names like Gushing Granny making it to the top of the list. Or what about the time 4chan users sabotaged a poll intended to determine a tour location for Justin Bieber? In case you were wondering, North Korea won that poll. Today I'll be telling you the story of one of 4chan's lesser talked about polling pranks, the legend of Charles Z.
Great Toy Galaxy. This is super nerdy, I'm sure. I used to collect toys, Star Wars, stuff like that when I was younger, my 20s, my 30s, and stuff like that. And when I was a kid, obviously. I grew up around, I don't know, 45 years old maybe. I sold all my stuff and kind of told myself, okay, what am I doing with all this stuff? What am I going to do when I'm 60 years old and have all this shit? I don't have any kids to give it to. So I sold everything on eBay, but that's neither here nor there. This basically, I point this out because he goes into old shows from the 80s, from the 90s, shows, cartoons. You can see Greatest American Hero here. Reboot. I never watched Reboot. I know what it is. Knight Rider. I mean, everything that involves like science fiction, superheroes. I know that's a continuous theme. It's just stuff I'm into. It's stuff I gravitate to. I always have. I'm just into fantasy. I live a real life, most of the time. And when I want to sit down and watch something entertaining, I don't want it based on real life. I try to stay away from the news as much as possible. Enough to I watch it enough to be informed, but not enough to go ape shit over it like a lot of people do. But very cool. He'll go in depth into all these different franchises and ideas and concepts from my childhood, and not necessarily even my childhood, my stepkid's childhood, stuff like that. Like your Schoolhouse of Rock uses that's crazy ancient.
30 years ago, a magazine tapped into the pop culture consciousness in a way that few did before and none have since, delivering news about and access to the comic book industry, expanding the audience for comics and action figures while legitimizing their value to mainstream media, helping to establish the foundation for the entertainment landscape that exists today, all while creating a publishing and convention management empire. Oh, but before we get to that, I should probably explain what a magazine is. Hi, I'm Dan Larson, and this is the history of Wizard and Toy Fair magazine.
All right, he's another Australian bloke, and what he does is top 10s, top 10 things you didn't know about certain things. I just watched the Jaws ride one. That was pretty entertaining. I talked about some guy falling into the lagoon when the rail broke, some other goofy stuff. Blockbuster video, I just watched that one last week. That's a good one as well. Just gives you the origins of Blockbuster, where they came from and where they went and why they went. I found that most interesting. And then as you can see, right, most mainstream or not so mainstream movies. I mean, Red Sonja, that's not that's something obscure. UHF, that's got a cult following. I've seen that a few times. That's a great movie. It's a funny movie, and it still holds up, surprisingly. So as you can see, he just goes through top 10 things that you might not necessarily know about a franchise or a thing or an idea. And he's really good. He's funny at times. And have a fun time watching that show.
What do you do if you're a high school nerd and you're so unpopular you can't get a date? Why, you create your own date with a giant-ass computer that's sitting in your bedroom, of course. Well, that's what you do according to the 1985 outrageous teen comedy Weird Science. So it's time to return to the weird and bizarre world of Gary and Wyatt, two 14-year-olds who create Lisa, their strange creation who helps to make all their wishes and dreams come true with hilarious consequences. So let's discover 10 more things that you didn't know about Weird Science. Written and directed by the amazing John Hughes. This movie has become one of those movies that everyone loves and frequently returns to, and it undoubtedly is a fan favourite. But the big question is, if we dig a little deeper, is there more information to unearth about this bizarre science fiction comedy?
Here is with Mark here, Weird Movies with Mark, as you can see, Fanboy Flicks. So he does basically what Good, Bad, Bad, Bad does is he basically he reviews bad movies, right? Badly made movies. Some could have a cult following. Some of them are just terribly bad made, produced, acted. So we find stuff that I've never even freaking heard of. I mean, obviously I've heard of Steven Seagal. And has Steven Seagal ever made maybe Executive Decision, because he's only in the first 5-10 minutes of it and he dies. That might be the only good movie he's ever made that he's in. And as you can see, really obscure stuff. Let me hit his videos here. All right. And I mean, right, this is Santa Claus versus the Martians, which I've seen parts of that movie. It is pretty bad. And Bruce Willis, I mean, we all know why Bruce Willis made terrible movies at the end, right? I don't want to say it's because it's a cash grab. He made as much money as possible because he knew he was going to retire. And as far as I know, he did it for his family to make sure they're all set. And you can't fault the guy for getting paid to do a job. I've done a lot of shitty jobs myself I didn't particularly care about.
Over the course of the past decade, I have encountered some pretty bad movies while doing this show. But every once in a while, I stumble upon a movie that is so unbelievably bad that it fails at every element of the filmmaking process. Champagne and Bullets is one of those movies, and it has easily made its way onto a short list of the worst movies I've ever seen. And I'm not talking about good bad movies, which are movies that are poorly made but still manage to be incredibly entertaining. I'm talking about movies that are bad. Like, we're talking no redeeming quality.
I might do another 10, maybe on the 400th episode, but these are really the 10 I gravitate to when I get home from work. I want to detox. I want to just sit back and not have to think about things because I'm in IT. I think about things for 8.5 hours a day. I would just want to sit back and be entertained. I don't necessarily want to have to think too deeply into things, and all this stuff is things that I love, and these are channels that I recommend. So, gals and guys, I hope you got something out of this. Maybe I turned you on to some entertainment out there that you're not aware of, and it's fun stuff, so I highly recommend it. So if you could please subscribe if you like this channel. 300th video, so very excited about that. It's a lot of freaking videos. Like the video if you like it, of course, share it if you know any people that are looking for new YouTube channels to watch, and hit that bell for updates. And that's it. That's all I got for you, gals and guys. I got to go back and see what the temperature is in the closet, and I will catch you next video. Bye-bye.